Hello, this is the January 14th, 2024 open public meeting of the Needham Library Board of Trustees, being held via hybrid format, allowing remote attendance. First, I will take a roll call to confirm the trustees, library staff, and other persons anticipated to be on the agenda are present and can hear me. So starting with trustees, please let me know you're here. Kay Cahill.
Here.
Rob Pettit. Jay Fialkoff.
Here.
Michael O'Neill.
Michael, you need to do your unmute button.
Oh,
Can you unmute, Michael?
we can't hear you, Michael.
I don't know if you can hear us.
How's that?
That's good.
Yes.
So you were here.
Hey, I made it.
Wonderful. Megan Small.
Here.
Joshua Small.
Here.
And Chair Erhard Grafe is here. All right, library staff. Library Director Robert McLean.
Here.
Incoming Assistant Director Diane Butler. Administrative Specialist Jenna White.
Here.
Program Specialist Gail Dennett.
Here.
And Reporting Secretary Faith Chrisley.
Here.
We also have Reference Supervisor
Liam O'Keefe here.
Liam O'Keefe. Wonderful. Do we have any representatives from the Library Foundation of Needham joining us this evening? Does not look like it. This meeting will be recorded. If there is a problem that prevents the completion of this meeting, we will reconvene at 7 p.m. on February 11th, 2024. I hereby call this meeting of the Needham Board of Library Trustees to order at 7:04 p.m. Usually we start off with public comments. Citizens are welcome to speak for up to 3 minutes each, not to exceed a total of 10 minutes. Citizens are encouraged to inform the library director in advance of their intention to speak. Those who provide advance notice will be called upon first. While the board will take public comments under advisement, there may be no opportunity for discussion or debate during this portion of the meeting. Not seeing any public here to make comments. We'll move on to approval of the minutes. I request a motion to approve the minutes of the December 10th, 2024 meeting, and then we can discuss.
I move to approve.
Second, thank you. All right, looking at the minutes, do we have any changes that we'd like to make from the December 10th minutes from the December 10th meeting? Hearing none, we'll move to vote. We'll do a roll call vote because we are a mix of in-person and online. With the motion to approve the minutes, please say aye. Kay Cahill.
Aye.
Rob Pettit. Oh, not here. Jay Fialkoff.
Aye.
Michael O'Neill.
Aye.
Megan Small.
Aye.
Joshua Small.
Aye.
Me, Erhard Grafe. Aye. Unanimously passed. Great. All right. Before we move on to the director's report, we wanted to have an opportunity to introduce our new secretary here.
Thank you. Thank you. I and you and everybody in the whole town of Needham is probably thrilled that tonight I get to introduce two of our newest members. Liam O'Keefe is our reference supervisor who started a week ago Monday. Diana Fendler is our assistant director who will start next Tuesday. It's been a long time in filling these positions. You know that, I know that, but I am confident it's been worth the wait. We're happy to have them here tonight to introduce themselves and get to meet the trustees. Liam, do you want to start a little bit about your background?
Sure, yeah, I mean, it's a great pleasure to be here. I'm from southeastern Massachusetts. I went to high school at Zavarian, so I'm somewhat familiar with the area. Come up through the just about every Minuteman library there is. I've only got a couple dozen more to go.
No, we don't want to hear that.
But real first experience was at Dover. And then was a branch manager at Somerville, the Somerville East, where I still live in that area, Assembly Row. And down here with the reference supervisor, I've had so many great leaders, so many great supervisors, including Jane, who I just learned is coming back to coming back to Cambridge. And I've got the chance to meet so many nice people here. I'm so grateful to be here. I'm very excited for what comes next.
Can you describe for us sort of as clearly as you can exactly what the nature is of what your job will be and what your role will be?
Sure. It will be to oversee especially the digital assets of what we have. Libby, Hoopla, to oversee that, and also to oversee our sort of on our first floor, our point person relationships. And that's been some of the most rewarding parts so far, is seeing people at our computers and seeing the students and seeing our study rooms and seeing overseeing the phase one process that goes on, overseeing, really taking account of how people interact with their library. And it's not one thing, it's a matrix of things. Both the people they interact with, the resources they have access to, and as the space adjusts with this big phase one we have coming, making sure that makes a new future possible without sacrificing how people experience their library. That's really exciting to me. I can't wait to learn so much and to maintain the level of service that we expect here.
Great. Well,
Nicely put.
And next we have Diana Fendler, who comes to us from the Cambridge Public Library.
Yeah, I'm happy to be here. I appreciate the opportunity to meet all of you here today. I am excited to bring my experience and skills to Needham. I have nearly 2 decades of public life experience. I started in St. Louis, Missouri at a 20-branch county system as a reference librarian, then as a branch supervisor. Then I also work in Tallahassee, Florida at the Leon County Library as the reference and technology media coordinator. And then my most recent role was at Cambridge Public Library as the manager of adult services. I oversaw 19 professional and paraprofessional team members. So that would include the archivist, librarian for older adults, the digital equity manager. And during my time there, we increased programming. We did intentional focus on older adults, 55 and plus. And during my time there, I also went through redesign of the space. We built the STEAM at the makerspace through the STEAM initiative, and Cambridge is also right next to the public high schools. I'm very familiar with the construction and having our spaces being well used by our young adults, adult patrons. I'm excited to get started next week. Needham appealed because it is close to the community where I live, so I'm excited about that. The library strategic plan is also especially appealing to me. The goals and objectives, it's a very tangible checklist that I feel I'm excited to see how the team, the Needham Library team, and us all together work to have that direct positive impact. So I'm excited to get started next week. It's a pleasure to meet all of you.
My pleasure.
Thank you.
Welcome.
Welcome.
I will say that if, all the hard work that we did to put together the strategic plan, if it was only partly responsible for bringing to us Rob and the two of you, I would already view it as a big success.
Yeah.
It's a great example of why these documents matter. Besides,
Yes, that's true.
the intentional work that they do, the
Never who's
side
gonna read
effects, they are important, and the smart, competent people who devote their lives to work in public libraries read them and make important decisions based on them. So thank you for doing all that work. I wasn't there.
Well, today's a good day. I can't remember, given your being here and what's going on with the the work and the physical in the library. I don't know that I've ever been more excited about the future of the library than I feel right now.
Oh, that's great. Thank you. We have a great team, and I think it's just gonna get better. You know, I'm really looking forward to taking the action plan for FY25 off the back burner, where it's probably burnt by now. We have a lot of work to catch up on, but so hopefully you'll give us some breathing room besides the policies as we
course.
try to catch up on that and then create a FY26 action plan. But yeah, it's really exciting to.
It's a very, I love how it's posted in the elevator, so everybody is aware of these strategic plans, so that's really exciting. So it's a daily reminder of the work that we do. So that's
Yes, there's a lot going on here, so we appreciate that we have you aboard to help out. Thank you.
Thank you so much for coming this evening. You're welcome to stay for the rest of the agenda, but you do not have to.
But we won't make you.
No, we will not make
Not
you.
required.
Thank you very much. Thank you very, we'll have a chance to.
Yeah.
Yeah.
talk.
It's nice to meet you.
Looking forward to seeing you around.
Thank you too.
Thank you.
Good night.
Are you two just meeting right now for the first
Good
time?
night.
We are, yeah. You're just meeting now for the first time? Well,
Yes.
Nice.
So,
yeah,
Diana has
No, I
started,
understand.
yeah.
Take care.
bye. Thank you, Rob.
Oh, so exciting.
Great hires, great hires.
Yeah, good energy. So take it away with the director's report.
As I put a halls in my mouth. Thank you, our heart. The director's report, you know, usually December's a little quiet because of the holidays and all that, but we did some great things. And the first thing here, just to let you know, we had a variety show at the end of December.
Rob, sorry.
Oh,
There's, whatever this vent up here is very loud today,
okay.
so,
Um,
thank you.
So the first time we had over 100 attendees for a variety show, sort of a pre-New Year's Eve celebration for some of our youngest patrons, which was well received and lots of interactive opportunities for those kids. Other things here, Lucia continues to do some great work in booking free programming for the library. With some story times here. Wendy's still working hard on meeting the collection so that by the time we're all set to start phase 2, the collection will be mean and lean and ready to see a renovated children's department. Some more work is going on with the collection there. You can read, and then Paula went to the Elliott School on December 11th, and the storytelling performance for second grade classes. So that outreach continues, and we're really happy to have that sort of relationship with the Needham Public Schools. Technical services, the leading continues for adult large print and fiction. And then the big work, which will be launched next week, is not just the overhauling of the library things, but quite an addition of new items to the library things. So that work we will make publicly known next week as we, yes.
The first time with the Library of Things, I remember they took public input in terms of what people would want.
Yes.
Is there some sort of
Yeah, there's a
process
survey.
with surveys to ask, I don't know, are you just basing it on anecdotal, what people have been asking for that we don't have? Mostly?
Well, we're done, like we've done it.
Okay,
So
yeah, I'm good, I'm just
yeah.
curious.
It's based on what other libraries have, which is
Yep.
successful, but also we have a suggestion box out by the self-check
Yeah,
that people have put their suggestions in and stuff. But
perfect.
yeah, also any just off the mark comments get passed along and considered. Things that do sort of limit what we can do is the size of the thing and the cost.
When do we expect the updated library of things would basically be available for the public?
Next week.
Oh, really? That's great.
Yeah, yep. So all that work has been happening the past couple of months, funded by the Friends, and Technical Services is ready to relaunch it.
Amazing. Thank you, friends.
Technology and archives. Big news related to archives I'll get to later when we move on to the list of gifts. But Danielle's been doing a lot of work as her role as the head of technology for us. One of the big things is we have a whole new phone system in the building. So she worked closely with ITS to make sure that happens smoothly. There are Zoom phones.
Zoom phones. Cool.
They're a big improvement over the phone system we had, which was original to when this building opened almost 20 years ago. So that is exciting. She's
They functioning well, and the phone system is up and running and no glitches?
Yep. Danielle just needs training, and then she'll train us more
Oh, okay.
than what we know now. But you can answer the phones, transfer calls.
You have a new message and now a receiving message.
Oh, I have to do that. I forgot. We do have
Welcome
new
to our new
extensions.
phone.
We have new extensions.
Oh, new extensions.
So they're 5-digit extensions. Before they were 3. So I was 202. So now I'm 79202. So everybody's just 79 and then the old extension. So that's exciting. We are getting a new public printer, which has been ordered, and I think our old public printer caught wind of it because it had an issue over the weekend. So it knows its days are numbered, but it's back working until the new one comes in. So that's great. Let's see. Oh, this is funny. No, it's not funny. But up in tech services, Luann and Tamara have been sharing access to the internet. So with the new phone system, wiring had to be done, and so now they're not sharing. So their access to the internet is much faster and they're much more productive now than a month ago. So just one of those things, just like the elevator, running off of oil, just like one of those quirky things that now it's,
That's
over
fixed.
and done with, we
Good.
never have to worry about that again.
It's a hassle.
And the last bullet here, we have 10 additional hotspots. That program is very popular. So we've added 10. So we now have 30 hotspots for patrons to check out, to use at home, go on vacation, wherever they need it. It's popular and it's worth the investment. For us to get it much beyond 30, we would have to look at the budget more closely. There's a monthly charge besides the one-time cost of buying.
Oh, is it? Yeah.
Most people seem to know how to use the hotspots.
Oh yeah, they're easy. I can use it.
Yep.
Yeah. So
You can use
You have a master's in library science. I hope.
Because I need somebody to tell me
A
what to
hotspot.
do.
yeah.
Your degree is
No,
in information sciences.
Yeah. No, they're easy to use. Yeah.
Okay.
Check one out.
Okay, so
Yeah. It'll be fun to try. Lots of personnel news, which is really exciting. The first bullet is really such a milestone. Karen celebrated her 30th anniversary just at the end of December, so that we had a small party to congratulate her and honor that kind of commitment. You don't see very often
30 years.
in the world, but here at Needham, we got some people who, luckily for us,
Yes.
are still here after long service.
And thank you to Karen. And
Hey.
if she's watching by any chance,
I had a chance to thank her.
Oh, right, yeah, last night. Yeah. She's great. The next bullet, so I like other people's money. And so in August, we started taking advantage of the money of the Massachusetts library system, which for some reason, this fiscal year got $150,000 to give out in conference scholarships. So Kelsey and Jenna got scholarships for the NELA conference.
I think Deborah too.
Oh, Deborah,
Yeah.
that's right. Which is in Portland, Maine. So that was $1,500, $4,500 covered there. We had 7 staff members apply for scholarships in December for conferences happening this spring. 6 received scholarships to attend, 5 to attend the annual conference of the MLA, Mass Libraries Association in Falmouth in May, and 1 to attend the annual conference of the American Library Association in June in Philadelphia. Those total $7,500. So between the 2, we've saved Needham, the town of Needham, the Friends, the foundation, the trust funds, $12,000 in sending our staff to library conferences this year.
They had good experiences, I bet.
Well done. Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah,
fantastic.
great.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think Neela was the first time, I think Kelsey and you had been to a library conference.
Uh-huh.
And yeah, it's just been fantastic.
Where'd you go, Jenna?
So it was in Portland, which is a
Mhm.
city that I just love anyway.
Oh, yeah.
So it was really good. Most of the events were held at the hotel, but and Rob, you went to this too. We got to tour the main branch of the Portland Public Library, and that was just awesome to see. And we had just insanely good weather for October in Portland.
Oh,
Yeah.
good.
It was gorgeous. It was a really good time.
And Jenna, I want to congratulate you because I just heard last night about you moving forward.
Thank you.
I don't want to, maybe you were planning on saying you're sorry.
Oh, yeah. It's coming
You
up.
know,
It's on the
Sorry.
director's report, yes.
I got
saw
excited
that.
when
Yeah.
Jenna started talking.
So 6 of our 7 got scholarships. Gabe was put on a wait list for some dumb
Oh.
reason.
Aw.
What? Very sad.
But that doesn't matter because she's going anyways. She's going, we've got money. So now that we don't have to pay that 12,000, we have money.
I'm still going to ALA.
Yeah, so
Fabulous.
Gabe's going to ALA. This month, in about a week or so, Jackie Bateman's going to Lib Learn X in Phoenix.
What is it called?
Lib Learn X. It's what used to be the midwinter conference of the American Library Association, but they made it hip. And so it's Lib Learn X.
Well, Phoenix is nice.
So that's super exciting because she's sort of our in-house AI specialist. And there are about 7 sessions in Phoenix about how AI intersects with public librarianship. So some other thing, Andy is a part-time tech services assistant and Mimi's a part-time tech services assistant. And they both are doing professional development. We're excited about that. And as Jay mentioned, last night, Jenna started her MLIS program. Valdosta State University.
Like how to say it.
Yeah. So we're super excited about that. There's the town's education reimbursement policy. So we're able to support
That's great.
Jenna's work to get that degree.
Amazing.
Yeah, so that's exciting. We're
That'll be
really,
some real work too.
Love
Yeah.
your So far, so good.
It'd be great. It'd be great.
Day one.
Yeah.
so we're really excited about our staff really stepping up and taking the opportunity to advance their either their education or their professional development at conferences or workshops. Emily Poutre was a part-time circulation assistant. She's now a part-time children's reference librarian, filling the spot that Kaylin left empty when she left. So we'll probably post Emily's position next week. And that's our only unfilled position.
Oh gosh, everyone
right
cross
now,
your fingers.
which is- yes, which is exciting. Last Friday night, if you drove by the library, you might have heard raucous laughter. The staff had a pizza party and board game night after the library closed, funded by the
Wow.
Friends. So that was great. Jenna organized it and ran it, and everybody had fun.
the library at night when it's closed? That's sort of like, isn't there a movie about that? Oh, no, it's a night
A
at the museum.
It's very similar. Things came to life. Ran out.
So it was exciting. We had one in the fall, and I think there had been a previous one a year or so ago.
Yeah, I think this one was our second, right?
Second that you organized,
Yeah.
it's the third one. But a few years ago, we did one down here.
Oh, okay.
We discovered upstairs on the second floor works better.
Yeah.
Nobody sees us.
And then the last bullet, just
You could say wrote this.
a couple meetings I've been to. Moving on to phase one, the team room expansion. We're having a meeting tomorrow with the architects at Hank to learn about their progress with putting together the construction documents, and then we'll be meeting 2 weeks hence on that. And we're having just internal staff meetings over the next couple of weeks to prepare to start brainstorming and thinking about how to plan for keeping the library operational and the impact minimal for staff and for patrons during construction, as well as creating a timeline for all the internal things we have to check off so that we are 100% prepared for the dates construction starts. So that'll be exciting to work on that, and we're glad that Liam and Diana is here, so
Yeah.
help out
Seriously.
with all that. Some information here about buildings and grounds. Things are going well, and we'll have study room 3 painted maybe at the next vacation week. We just had some staff shortage this vacation that affected that. I think I emailed out in December the good news about library state aid for FY25. So it's just here in the report that we received almost $79,000 when we were certified this year in state aid. I believe that's the most meetings ever received, and that's due to the great advocacy efforts of librarians, trustees over the past few years at the State House. We've seen huge jumps in the money the state has put to library state aid over the past 3 years, and that money comes right to us. You know?
That is right,
So-
right. It doesn't go through the town.
Right.
It comes
Yeah, and the
directly to
MBLC
us,
doesn't,
and we
hold on
decide.
to any of it. It just so.
And by the way, we all trustees have opportunities to go to the State House and to participate in that process, advocating for libraries in Massachusetts.
A few library directors here in Representative Tarski's district will be meeting with them soon
Okay.
to talk about
Yeah, good.
what we do and the importance of the libraries to start the indoctrination.
Yeah.
Hopefully a vice principal doesn't need too much education on why this is important.
Say what? So as the state has been doing for probably 8 years or so, we only get half of our library state aid up front, and then in March, April, they'll give us the other half. It used to be given all at once, but there was a year when the economy wasn't so great, and they wanted to give it out in 2 installments. That has not reverted back to 1 payment, despite my pleas.
Yeah.
That's what my voice is. Anyways, we're just happy to get the money. Some expenses listed here for the library state aid fund and the trust funds, which I'll get to when we look at those reports. The DIB efforts are listed here for reference children's and technical services for the last month, along with the chart about the occurrences for DIB characteristics in the physical items we've added to our collection. And then the summary report for December of new items that were added to the collection and withdrawn from the collection. And so you can see there that we continue to prep our collection, not just for phase 1, but for phase 2, and just for some catching up on some regular weeding that we haven't done.
Can I ask
As
you,
often.
on the, oh, sorry.
Yes.
Just, so this chart shows the DEIB materials that have been brought in the past month. Is that, just so I understand that's what this is? And then this is overall materials, books and other materials is that correct?
Right. This is all physical items we've added to the
All
collection in
physical,
December.
correct.
And
Yeah.
this is those items that have DIB occurrences
Physical
within the
or digital?
content.
Both.
Of-
Mhm.
And it's just our physical collection, just to represent our digital collection.
Oh, this, okay, even the DEIB part is not the digital stuff, it's just physical. Okay. Thank you.
Moving on to the financial reports. See our operating budget report that ends December 31st, 2024, shows that we're on track for where we should be, considering being not fully staffed for a large period of
Right.
the fiscal year. So there's that. Just related to that, maybe I'll just, I met last week with members of the finance committee. They thought we were meeting last Thursday. It was supposed to be this coming Thursday, but we still met.
Oh,
Good.
They had no questions and we asked them questions, and they were satisfied. It was Karen Colton and Joe Abruzzi.
And you and Jenna,
Um,
who was that?
me.
You, got it.
Yeah, we weren't expecting them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh,
Jenna was
so
at
they
lunch.
just showed up and you weren't expecting them to take.
Oh,
We were gonna meet on the 16th, but they both thought it was the 9th.
Oh,
uh-huh.
But it went well, and they understood everything we were talking about and asking for, including the $4,835 for the website maintenance.
yes, which
and
we're
the
hoping
history
to
for
transfer
that,
into the
and-
regular operating budget, right?
Right.
Correct, yeah.
And talked about the DSR4s related to the staff, and so it went well. And I think we're meeting with the finance committee on the evening of February 5th.
Yeah, for the,
For
for the budget review.
Jenna and I will go and talk about that, and but this meeting went very well.
Good.
And,
And you're all welcome if you want to come, but I will definitely be there.
yeah, I'll send out information about that. It's Wednesday, February 5th.
I'll be
I'm
way
sure
out.
there'll be an agenda. I think we're down the list.
I always find it interesting just to see what questions they ask, because it kind of shows how they look at the budget and what are the things that they focus on. So it's often interesting.
The state aid account report shows that the list of expenses from December, we're still within budget. And next, well, when I get to, well, trust funds are next, but next month we'll present a plan for trust fund spending for FY26
Okay.
for consideration. And I'm not sure if in the past trustees, need 2 meetings or whatnot, but it's early enough, unlike last summer where it was within the fiscal year. I think it was July. But we have some time. We have the interest from FY24,
Oh, good.
so we know that now. So
I mean, that's what we didn't have
right
last
that
year,
was
and why
what
it was
we-
so delayed.
Yeah.
Right.
So we'll move forward with bringing forward an FY26 plan for the trust fund spending.
Excellent.
And we can see if maybe we do the library state aid also, since we know that, or I don't know, maybe I should really wait to make sure we get all that money before planning on how to spend it.
Yeah.
I'm not sure.
We haven't even, like, we just know the amount. I didn't
That's
see it at the account.
Oh, okay. So if we want to be conservative, we could hold off until that 79,000 actually
Mhm.
gets here.
Okay. And I see which I think is a good thing, we're sort of holding, designating some money for the phase one construction. Should it be needed? for various things, right?
Should it be needed?
Yeah.
We hope it does not need to be needed.
Okay, but we're encumbering it for that. Is that what I'm
Yes.
seeing here in the
Yep,
stated?
it's set aside if needed.
But there's no rush on that.
An
on
FY
this.
26
Yeah,
library stated plan, I don't think so. I was just thinking through them, maybe at the same time might be useful for the trustees, but if we don't, I don't know if we want to wait to make sure we have all that money in hand before.
I don't think, I think we'll do it what makes sense based on the timing and other agenda items. You know, right now, we're really in the thick of policy stuff. And then there'll be a bit of a gap with February and March, and then starting to work on report sections. And so we might want to kind of slip it in there before we really start getting into some report writing and report reviews during those kind of April, May, June months, because that's when we have another heavier lift in terms of our agenda.
But I'll plan on bringing the trust fund plan for FY 26 to February.
Yeah, we could do that. Yeah. I don't think it's too much to ask. Shift between I mean, trust fund is usually materials primarily, whereas state aid is more kind of sundry.
So the trust fund report is the next one, which shows we're on track. The spending that was approved by the trustees this summer, and as Rahab mentioned, most of this money is devoted to collection development during the months when we don't have the town's operating budget funds in place yet to spend. So that's on track.
So on trust funds, I noticed the permanent donation fund is the one of interest this month, right? Because we got a big infusion. No?
Yes.
Well, pending our
Good eye.
acceptance.
So in 2 minutes, I'll talk about that.
Okay.
The last report is the monthly stats report. It shows you the numbers that make up all of the stories that went on here in the library over the course of the month of November. One thing that I just want to mention, not so much tied to this, well, it is kind of tied to stats, but as you may remember, for the months of October, November, December, we were doing a pilot project of not charging patrons for printing up to 25 pages.
Yes.
So we've gathered the data for those 3 months, and now that Liam's here, Daniel and I want to meet with him and talk through that before we make a recommendation to continue that or maybe expand it, because we want to make sure we are looking at the numbers and realizing what the implications would be.
Yeah.
So
We appreciate
Stay
you
tuned.
looking carefully at that before, jumping to the next
but
stage.
we are continuing with that.
The 10 pages free.
The 25 pages
25
free, while we think.
Yeah, I imagine it's useful, and Liam might have thoughts on this, to consider how that's part of ongoing maintenance costs for the printer itself. We know we're getting a new printer. It has a certain lifetime, we're imagining, and certain wear and tear in terms of volume of use is something we should factor into the lifetime cost of that unit. So that should be amortized as part of the overall cost of the program.
Yes. Part of this pilot project was divorcing the friends from paying for the costs of the maintenance for public printing. And with 25 pages free, they wouldn't be receiving much money.
In terms of not just the numbers of pages used, but in terms of who's using it, are you noticing, or as part of this pilot, that, for example, students are using it more because they can print out their 12-page papers or whatever, versus previously where if they had anything more than 10 pages, it was useless to them?
Yeah, that's some of the anecdotal information that Liam will help us gather from the reference librarians. Danielle and I were looking at the numbers, which are like a daily report of black and white and color printing, which tells us something, but other information is something we want to bring in Liam and get reference input about those interesting stories.
And also, any issues have there been, or do you anticipate any issues in terms of local business people coming in and doing large volumes of printing for their office purposes? Was it business purposes? I don't know if that's something that might happen or has.
Yeah, so 25 pages per day. We haven't heard of anything like that. This is one of those good things where the library is not on the radar of many businesses in town. Normally that's not something we're happy about. But yeah,
so thus far that's not has an issue.
Yeah, it does not look like the numbers, but we have to talk to Liam and the reference librarians. It does not look like we're seeing abuse, but we are seeing more use. So
like more use than, so there are X number of people using it more than there were before, in addition to X number more pages, just because the page limit has gone up.
Right. It's the usage is up, but it's not. There's not a pattern, and there's not information that there's many people coming in every day and getting their 25 pages. But we'll see. The thought was this would be a nice move to complement no overdue fines, and sort of move us away from collecting coins from patrons. Yeah. Who knows? Maybe we'll stick with it. Great. Okay.
Gifts.
Gifts.
Yeah.
So on this list of gifts, first bullet represents an anonymous donation of $100,000 to the permanent donation fund.
You're welcome.
Just we're really excited about this. This donation, we met with the donors over the course of this fall, and this money is intended for a very important project, and that project is the digitization of all of the Needham newspapers we have in our archives.
Wow.
Yeah.
So that's an amazing gift.
Going
Not
back
just
to
of money.
the 1800s.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. So this will be phenomenal. So we have the money if you accept it. The check has been deposited, and we're working with finance to put out bid documents to
Bid documents.
right, to get this out so we can start working on this this winter, since we have the money. As you may remember, the BPL has free digitization services for all public libraries and other cultural institutions in the state, but they have a long wait list. And we already have projects in the pipeline with them, and you have to wait your turn. So we could be waiting 5 or 10 years if we wanted this to be done through their services. Luckily,
Was this a solicited donation for this purpose, or did someone come and say, I want to do this?
someone came and had this
Great idea.
idea.
What a
which
generous
Yeah.
was
contribution.
perfectly in alignment with the work that Danielle had been doing in creating small batches of collections to send to the BPL, like the high school literary, something rad, I
Right.
forget.
Yes.
And the BPL also just picked up this fall our entire collection of annual reports. She'd been doing some really great work in moving forward to digitizing important parts of our collection.
Are those digitized and then made accessible online?
Yes. Yes.
Part of that website maintenance cost.
Well, they'll be harvested and hosted by either Digital Commonwealth or the Internet Archive. So we won't have to do that. But they all will have OCR, so they're searchable, which is great, including this project. So this very generous donation
Sure
is going to make sure that that can be done.
It's amazing. Yeah.
Can we,
Thank you to
please
whoever
have
that
the
is.
minutes reflect that the trustees very much appreciate and thank the donors for this project, which is preserving Needham's history in digital form, and the importance of that. It's recorded. That we acknowledge that.
I think it's fabulous, considering the potential wait time, alternative ways to digitize this work, because those physical materials aren't getting any hardier, with time. And so we're more likely to get, better quality scans of each of these things the quicker we start. So
And it's a great example also about, how we're fortunate that members of the community were in a position to contribute to the library in ways that go above and beyond whatever the town can afford. It's a wonderful thing.
Very thoughtful.
And see the value in investing in this.
yeah, absolutely.
It's great. So one thing I just want to mention on this project. Oh, it just went out of my head. What will be on the Internet Archive is what is allowed by public domain. So as of January 2025, 1929 and earlier are in the public domain. So those will be on the Internet Archive. So you can sit on
29?
Yeah.
1929. So you can sit on your couch at home and search those.
Another year was added just recently.
The rest will be digitized, but you'll have to come here to the library and
Nice.
sit down and you can search here within the library
So
for
that's
everything.
That's a more complicated question than that, because honestly, I deal with this at GBH where we have, something called the American Archive of Public Broadcasting, which I was going to say, if you have questions related to digitizing, I have colleagues in the archives department. But we've gone through a process where we're making basically available online, all sorts of public television, radio programs without being limited by copyright, based on relying on a provision in the copyright law called fair use.
But fair use is just small.
It's more I don't want to
Because in the
oversimplify
media,
it.
we always use fair use
It's
too.
complicated, but there are, a variety
Yeah.
of questions in terms of what's the purpose of the copyright law. And I think the purpose of the copyright law should encourage the availability of these. Anyway, it's a complicated question, but it'd be nice to think that you can get the much more current since 1929 accessible online as a possibility.
Yeah. We'll need an even larger donation to handle the legal consulting.
Gotta get the working center folks.
But yes, some interesting questions about that, but I'm glad. I mean, the most important thing is that we're saving stuff in a digital format.
Yes.
And then as it emerges into the public domain, we can put more and more of it online.
And we're not getting rid of the physical. It
Right.
will return to our archives and be safeguarded forever.
Yeah.
It's not a replacement, it's an addition.
Right.
So couldn't be more thankful for these, to these donors for this much.
And we use a series of other generous gifts
Yes,
alongside this.
Absolutely. It was a great end of the year to see checks coming in memory of people, or just because they appreciate the great work our staff doing.
Are any of these designated for particular purposes, or are they?
Yes.
Okay.
Donors get a letter of thanks.
Yes.
I assume.
So I send them a letter of thanks.
So I'll create a motion to accept and look for a second. So I move that the permanent donation fund accept gifts of $100,000 from Anonymous, $500 via the Morgan Stanley Gift Fund, $250 from Ellen and Michael Knizki, $45 from Florence Wiener, $32.50 from Nancy President Van Breckheaven, $40 from Alexander Cullen, $120 from Hillary Hanson Brewer, and $18 from Joycelyn Bain. Is there a second?
Second,
I'll do a roll call vote to accept this gift unless there is discussion. Hearing none. Kay Cahill,
Aye.
Jay Fialka,
Aye.
Michael O'Neill,
aye.
Megan Small,
Aye.
Joshua Small.
Aye.
The chair says aye. We accept these gifts unanimously. Thank you again for the generosity of everyone. Moving on to our next bit of new business. Last year, we wrote a letter to the Select Board and Finance Committee advocating for our budget and capital improvement projects. I took Jay's wonderful template from last year and made my own edits on it to create a draft for this year. And so I'm going to move that we adopt this, and then I'll open it up for discussion. So this is a move to adopt the letter with any potential non-substantive edits that we might recommend, in order to send to the Select Board and Finance Committee. Can I hear a second?
Second.
Wonderful. All right, opening up discussion on the draft letter.
I had just one small thought.
Sure.
It worked great, but the second to last paragraph on the first page, we deferred. See that? We defer to Deputy Town Manager
Yes.
to answer any questions you may have about the library's budget, which I think we're saying the budget is reasonable and considerate of the library's needs as compared to the questions are. I think that R should be in this.
Yes.
The library's budget, which we believe is.
Yes.
Yeah.
I put that.
Yeah. Kay caught that and sent it to me.
That was my only comment. Thank you.
Thank you for that. Kay found a number of
Do you want me to?
small edits.
A little, I mean, they're just minor things like that, but.
If you want to, yeah, it shouldn't
Or
take
do
too
we
much
have
time.
them already?
I have them. I have your draft, and I can, or
Okay.
your edits, and I can incorporate them.
And I just made one to make that one point about, I know that we think of young adults officially, is the term often used in the book in the library world for teenagers, but when we communicate with the select board or especially the town meeting, I think they think of young adults as sort of 18 and 20-year-olds, and not the teens that we have over here that we're talking about. So I think, saying teenagers or something that means teenagers would be good when we're communicating with the larger
Except young adult is like the term of art within the book world.
world, right? But it's not.
But we can be
in the
more
world
clear,
at
so they
large.
know.
What's that?
So it's appropriate to be more clear.
Yeah, because I want the town meeting members to understand we're talking about our town's teenagers. We don't have a lot of young adults in the classic sense in Needham. So.
Right, there is, but I would argue that leaving young adult in there is appropriate because in the term of art in the library world, young adult does mean teenagers, and I don't know that it's necessarily. Gail has a question.
No, actually, I have a suggestion how to fix that for you.
Yeah.
After dedicated young adult /teen area, and that covers your issue. So so people
Yeah,
know.
just getting the word, some
Or,
clarification.
or when you say young adult area in the library, parentheses, ages, blank to blank.
You could,
Some
but.
But we don't want to limit,
Something.
but I don't
You
think
don't
we're
wanna-
talking limiting the ages.
You don't
No.
want to put ages, but
Fair
I
enough.
think if you slash teen there, that will tell them that,
Yep.
yes, we're talking.
And even preteens too are
We
part
do
of it.
have some preteens there, but still, teen will do it for you.
What's always tempting, and I don't know that you need to put it in writing, but the winning argument is to tell them to come visit the library at 3 o'clock on a weekday. You know,
Right, and they see.
and they see it.
I was here the other day, it was.
Yeah.
Very busy.
Yeah.
So we could add a slash teenager perhaps to the first mention on the previous page, the request for renovation of the young adult area. I don't know, what are we calling it? Do we have a name? for it?
Teen room.
The teen
Teen
room?
room, yeah. so,
You're calling it the teen room?
Yeah.
And we don't know what they'll call it, right?
just
They'll,
like
once
to
they have
use-
ownership of it.
English.
Yeah.
It's English.
Teens can
We-
come
we-
down.
We have a whole bunch of, like, sorry, but like the new phone system, you know, all of a sudden, administration's getting all these calls, you know, and because we're on the tree now, but we think everybody knows what we mean when we say reference or circulation, you know. So we're gonna have a discussion about that with our phone system, like
Yeah,
our language needs to be more common. Like if you call here, of course, maybe that's why people have selecting administration, because they want to know the hours or something. Like, why would they click on reference or certain, you know?
Yeah, right. People don't really know
So
where the
I
division
think
of
we get
labor
caught
is.
up in our lingo that isn't very welcoming.
Yeah, or it's, the average person may not kind of get.
So the idea here will be, if we approve of the letter, I will send it to select board and ask them to copy all the relevant folks as you see at the top of the letter.
Is it go to FinCom too?
Yes, so we'll ask them to forward it to FinCom, and so this will, in the same way that we sent it last year. It
Yeah,
doesn't say
great letter,
FinCom
thanks.
on there, does it?
It's all like important points and,
I think I'm missing the CC on there. I'll make sure that there's a clear CC for finance committee, as well as the town manager stuff. Wonderful. So hearing no more discussion, I'll move to a roll call vote to endorse this letter. Kay Cahill,
I,
Sorry.
Sorry, to endorse the letter as is, or to endorse the letter with the minor changes?
with the minor changes. Yeah, sorry.
That's okay.
I should reiterate the motion on the table, which is to endorse the letter with the minor non-substantive edits. Roll call vote, Kay Cahill,
I,
Jay Fialko.
Aye.
Michael O'Neill,
Aye.
Megan Small,
Aye.
Joshua Small,
Aye.
the chair is aye. Great, we endorse the letter unanimously. Fabulous. Thank you, Jay, for the great template to work from.
thank you. Earhart for putting it together nicely.
No, because I think this is from the trustees. I think that makes sense. But we can talk about it after the meeting. So moving on to library policy review. So we have a number of old policies that we were reviewing in prior meetings. And we have a new addition to this, which is a request to withdraw the 3D printer policy. Rob and Kate, do you want to present this?
Sure, thank you, Ron. So the reasons to withdraw the policy are at the top of the existing policy. There are 2 bullets. The former 3D printer is broken and we don't have plans to replace it. And 3D printers really aren't a pressing need. Public libraries and this one in particular. So we ask the trustees to withdraw this, if that's the right term, policy. Then we'll just remove it from our website.
Just from my little bit of background with 3D printers, they are, you know, it's a complicated thing to use because you have to design your program first. You know, you have to design your thing. And that's not an easy thing to just walk into the library and say, oh, how do I design a, you know, a baby chair? It's like hard to do, and I understand the printer now, it basically stopped work, it no longer works, and it's, so it's a complicated process to use it for the public. So I think it's a good idea for us to let it move on to the, you know, the graveyard of.
Yeah, I think this makes sense to me, especially given the state of our 3D printer and what we're able to support in terms of access to such a device. I'm not sure I agree with the argument that 3D printers in public libraries was an unsuccessful trend. I think it varies by library. I think there are yeah, I think there are public libraries that invest in makerspace-like spaces where they have dedicated staff who are managing access to a number of devices and running ongoing programming there.
Right, I think there are more public libraries that just got a 3D printer.
Right, no, I think
And
you're right.
That type of trend is like, it's bigger than just get a 3D printer and stick it on the corner.
Right, yes.
Yeah.
I agree with you.
Those who have
That
gone
is,
down the whole road,
To
like
set up a makerspace is
with
a
staff,
different thing.
yeah.
yes. And so I think that makes absolute sense for our situation, and that we shouldn't be advertising a service that we aren't in a position to support. It doesn't make sense for some of our goals right now.
I agree.
This is easy.
All right. No, cannot. Sorry, I didn't mean to be so late.
What was that?
Rob was asking if we could vote on this now, because wouldn't it be great to clear one of these? And no, we'd have to vote on this next meeting in February, even though it feels super cut and dry.
You can bet on it in Vegas.
Our bylaws say that we have to introduce it in one meeting and vote on it at a later meeting. So hopefully this will be a very short agenda item come February. And I appreciate the fact that this was clear and we seem in agreement anyway, so that's good. So thank you. So moving on to old business and library policy review. I want to remind folks that I'm trying to institute kind of a 15-minute per policy requirement.
That's our
here.
policy.
Our 15-minute policy.
This is all discussed with previous ones.
Yeah.
Are we gonna vote on these tonight?
We'll see.
Gonna try.
We're definitely going to talk about them all again, and we're going to.
I'm hanging in there. My phone's at like 15%, so
Oh, geez.
Oh, no.
let's see what we can do.
How many we can get Michael to vote on before we lose him. So the first one here on this list is the outdoor signage policy, and so we're revisiting this again. Do you want to remind us where we've been and where we're at on the outdoor signage policy?
So this will be the third meeting where we brought it up, and I think we kind of simplified it, pared it down to its essence, and we're not putting in, I think, things that are we're not listing a thing of things that we won't do so much as listing things that we allow.
So the outdoor signage policy, the only change from the last meeting was Kay and I met on December 27th and went through all of the comments from the December meeting, and one of those comments, the hang up for this policy was the note that referred to the title of a policy where we weren't sure about the title of the policy.
Oh, yes.
So we met on the 27th and came up with a title, a proposed title for that policy, which is almost as long as the existing title for that policy, but has all the words that we think make it clear what it's about. So that is listed here in the notes. So that's really different from December. So I don't know if we want to just lead on this one because
Yeah.
So we can go to the,
We don't have a motion live, but we can table that.
Table it.
I'm not sure I followed that.
Yeah, so
Yeah,
because
so-
we include the name of another policy in which we are changing
Yes,
in this
This.
policy's content,
yes.
No,
we would need
refers
to
a
adopt the other
different-
I
policy
see.
first.
Yeah,
It
okay,
refers
okay,
to-
got it,
This one, number 9.
got it. And have we talked about the wording of this?
yes.
Yes.
I do have one question, sorry.
About which one, the outdoor signage?
Yes. I thought we had decided to move the only so that it didn't suggest that the only thing you're allowed to do outside is use it for signs, that you could use it for signs and posters only
I
for,
thought we did move the only.
it seems like now it just says that the outdoors are available only for signs and posters.
So what you're saying is that
I
that
thought
implies
that
that people
was-
aren't allowed to sit
That's
there?
what I thought, that's what it's the same comment I had last week.
I would
I
be
thought
with
we-
you if it wasn't the outdoor signage policy.
Okay, fair enough. Okay,
I think that helps narrow the scope.
okay. It'd be funny to make somebody leave because he's violating the
Not
outdoor signage
fine.
policy.
I think we should.
Trespass people for
Assume
not,
that it's
trespass
not-
them because they are not.
Yeah, that's right. We kick all people off the grounds essentially for not being
If you're
signs.
comfortable, it seems a little quirky to me, but okay.
They can go in the church parking.
Yeah, I'm not too worried about the other, but thank you for making sure that we get it right and it's as clear as possible. Can we move on then to the community information policy one? And then perhaps we can return to this one for a vote if that one passes.
Yes, so the existing policy is the public use of library bulletin boards and literature dissemination facilities. And the proposed name was what you had mentioned, the community information policy. But that was, I think the trustees found that too vague.
Yeah.
So-
Community information, it doesn't tell you that this is about where you can post or put your notices out, right?
You don't think community information policy would be sufficient?
We discussed this last
I
time.
know, okay, all right.
We don't.
No, we don't.
According to the last meeting minutes.
Fine. I need to refresh my memory.
So you want people, the public, to be able to look up the policies and say, oh, I recognize what this.
I want to put my
It's
information
about-
at the library. What policy do I look at?
I'm good.
So
I think I'll just say that this is much better than the last title.
You mean the title?
The original
The new
title, the
title.
standing title.
Yes.
This is way better.
The
It's
new
long,
title
but it's way
is-
better.
It doesn't include the phrase literature dissemination facility.
yeah, dissemination is gone. That's
So the new title is posting and distribution of community information in the library policy.
So that's the big change from the December's meeting is that is a new title that Kay and I
I'm sorry, can I,
had a lot.
I do like this. I would put policy at the beginning, policy for posting and,
Yeah, a little.
I agree with you, Jonathan. Did I say Jonathan?
you did, that's okay, though, I'll forgive you.
You know what?
That's hard, that's
Other
hard.
people,
John-
the reason I would say no to that is because when people, you've got to think, when people read things at a glance, they're skimming down the list of policies and they want to be able to easily see what it's about. So if you have posting and distribution, posting, okay, posting bullet on bulletin board, it makes it more accessible and immediately obvious what it's about.
Take the word policy out.
Take the word policy out.
We can
If it's
still,
on a list
we
of
can still
policies.
call it a policy.
Because all the other ones are called policies.
Some of them have policy at the end, some of them do not. But we don't have any policies at the beginning in terms of that word
Oh,
coming.
right, and they are alphabetical on the internet, on the list. too.
Yeah, Turkey's thing is on a
Yeah, that's
page
true.
that says library policies, and which is
Yeah,
very
just
easy
get
to
rid of the word
refer as
policy.
policy.
It's just
I think it
for easy
sounds a little
access.
clunky at the end, I agree. In the middle, the front sounds weird, but it seems very clear it's a policy, so it's under the policies.
I'm cool with scrapping the word policy at the end. Yeah,
Fine with me.
and then do that also in the outdoor signage.
Rob, are you okay
Text,
with
just
this?
call that.
Do you think there's any need for to have the word policy on it?
unhappy deleting a word.
But so now it's not, but just so that I'm clear, now it's not going to be called the outdoor signage policy. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, because it's on the list of, it's just called the outdoor signs,
Signs.
because it's on. the
No,
policy.
no, 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 no.
On just this one.
Policy.
No,
I
in
thought
the-
I heard you
Reference to
say.
to this policy, in the outdoor signage policy.
Okay.
We're not changing the title of the outdoor sign.
That's what I wanted to make sure, because
Yeah.
I think the policy fits with the. outdoor
Yes,
sign.
policy works in that title.
Just not in this one. Okay.
Yeah,
Could I add one small word comment on this one?
please.
It's the same number of letters as what else was comment. The sentence in the middle, the library supports the tenets of intellectual freedom embodied in the free speech provisions of the United States Constitution and outlined in the library's mission statement that's compared to the mission statement in the United States Constitution.
Yeah,
Okay.
that's better.
Thank you. The edits were incorporated for that sentence from the last meeting, and then on the next page, number 2, allowing up to 3 business days for review. That correction has been made. Too.
Yes.
Good. Fabulous. I'm gonna,
And just to extend the discussion, Kay and I had a discussion about like maybe have a hate speech policy came up last month, and just talked about not that name of policy, but the need to create like an overarching policy that touches on, you know, intellectual freedom, free speech, but also a welcoming library and community, and that just touches on all of that rather than each policy try to dive deep into that.
Describing what's allowed and what's not allowed
I see. Yeah,
in each policy. So it's come up again with the art committee too. It's like, what do we allow on the walls? What do, you know, in terms of not wanting hate speech or other, you know, things that we find not appropriate. And it comes up in the lawn policy, it comes up in this posting policy. So having an overarching policy that we refer to in all of these.
I can
separate
see why it'd be
policies
useful to formalize that.
would make some sense.
Well, but then we'd have to revise all of these policies again, so once we have that new policy.
We would have to put in. probably-
Yeah, you'd have to have an addendum saying, refer to
Yeah, just
X free speech policy, I'm just making that name up right.
Not necessarily.
Site, you can say that
Oh.
all policies are subject. Use of the library and all the policies.
We can put that in the hate speech policy.
Right,
Right, yeah, yeah, the hate speech policy, which would be
right,
an active policy,
yeah,
could actually impact itself on all the other policies.
right. I think we can do without having to do addendum, but I think it
That was just an FYI, because we
Yeah.
had the discussion about the US Constitution, the free speech provisions and
Mhm.
things, and I think then that triggered the thought of hate speech policy. And I just want to let you know, we haven't dismissed that. We want to create a separate policy that is around that issue.
Sure, sure.
Yeah, which would then apply to all policies that are.
And doesn't negate its usefulness in the first paragraph of this policy.
Right.
Right, because I think it is actually very useful to have this language right in this policy.
Yes, it's welcoming.
Yeah,
Is anybody else find number 3 a little confusing, or is it just, I think, I understand we're saying that we will give preference to events information about specific events over non-Needham ones. Is everything posted for up to 1 month, or is it just the Needham ones?
yeah,
Do
there's,
we need to make
that's
it
a
a
good
little
question.
clearer there to say,
Do you want to have a number 4, which just separate the two?
I think the
yeah, maybe, if everything is gonna be
preferences.
posted for up to 1 month, then
Like
that could be
preferences should
number,
be,
Oh,
preferences will be given to Needham.
Yeah.
Number 4, things can be posted for 1 month.
yeah,
I mean, if that's true,
if
Like,
that's the point, yeah.
I think that was the question.
Or are we
you
only
had.
doing Needham events per month,
Yeah,
and
no,
everybody else
that's-
gets
that's a good
less
catch.
than
No, no, no.
one?
Okay, yes, then those should
It's
be,
like
those should be
a
separate.
month
Okay.
is the limit.
Got it.
That's
Okay.
4.
Do we need to include something about your sort of your right to remove them after an event or anything like that?
Your right to.
The library.
Library's
So
right.
the libraries. right.
Like
Right,
event,
to
event
you
is
know,
on
to-
January
to keep
seventh,
an
can
eye.
it be removed on January eighth?
That's the way it happens.
Space
Okay.
on the board for something new.
Yeah.
Gate takes care of
Okay.
No, circulation takes.
And so
But you
that's
want to
up to
incorporate
one.
I'm
that
just
into the
looking at the
new
list
number
of things.
4?
I don't feel strongly about it. I just.
Because some
I think it's
things,
covered by
some
up-
things aren't event
Right.
focused,
Mhm.
you know. I'm a tutor.
I don't know if we need to do. Personally, I would think up to 1 month would cover anything shorter and then allow you to take it off once an event, if there is one has passed.
On the number 3,
Yeah.
maybe if you just reverse it, due to limited space, events information can be posted for up to 1 month, and even events will be given preference. That way you have the 1 month apply to all of it.
And just leave it at 1, 2, 3.
I think optically, whatever.
I think they're kind of two
Prefer.
separate things,
Two
honestly,
different
the
ones.
preference for Needham
Uh-huh.
and the
It-
breaking into two.
Then you gotta fiddle with the sense.
There are
Limit
two
only
boards,
to-
guys. One in the
Right.
community chambers and the multi events, the one outside this wall is all other things.
I guess my question would be, is the 1 month because we have limited space, or do we have another reason for it being 1 month?
It's limited space.
Okay, so then maybe it all is worthwhile putting it through.
It's all due to limited space that we limit it to.
If that's the reasoning for
Needham
those
preference
things.
And
So take Jay's suggestion, just.
Yeah,
reverse
just put it at the beginning,
these
yeah,
three.
due to limited space, events and information will be posted for up to 1 month. Needham events, and information will be given prior preference. A little semicolon in there.
I didn't say it with a semicolon. I have to think about it.
Love me a good semicolon.
I think I would just probably use a comma.
me too.
But I would think about it for a while.
Okay, so you got that sentence down?
And comma and.
Comma, and yeah, we would need to connect them. Otherwise, that'd be good.
I'm just being clear. Otherwise, you could disregard them.
Are they dependent or independent clauses?
Ooh. That's a good point, actually, because they are,
I'm kidding.
no, it's relevant, actually.
Sorry.
How are we feeling? Can I move?
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's much more efficient.
Well,
Gotten to
that's why we do it multiple
three
times.
months, so.
We're all exercising these muscles right now, and we're getting stronger. So moving to adopt the rewritten and retitled posting and distribution of community information in the library policy. I wanted to give a pause there, so that wasn't part of the title. Can I hear a second?
A second.
Great. Any additional discussion?
Great work.
Yes, thank you so much.
Patience.
So moving to a roll call vote. Kay Cahill,
Aye.
Jay Fialko,
Aye.
Michael O'Neill,
Aye.
Megan Small,
Aye.
Joshua Small,
Aye.
and the chair is aye. All right, we got a policy. So putting back on the table, the outdoor signage policy. I move that we adopt the rewritten outdoor signage policy. Do I hear a second?
Adopt with the word policy being dropped from the note.
Yes, we're also in discussion,
Oh, okay, I'm sorry.
but you're
I
right, I
apologize.
could make the motion that says with the changes we are making.
Yes.
Um,
Second.
Second, thank you. Any more discussion on the outdoor signage policy? Okay, moving to a roll call vote. Kay Cahill,
Aye.
Jay Fialko,
Aye.
Michael O'Neill,
Aye.
Megan Small,
Aye.
Joshua Small,
Aye.
the chair is aye. All right, so two down.
Just so I'm clear, the policy's gone
For what?
at the end of that name.
What name?
No, for outdoor signage, the policy is still part of the name.
Yes, but
But
it's,
posting and distribution.
Yes.
Does not
But
have the
it's-
word policy.
That should, for the note,
Oh,
it
the
probably
word
say,
policy.
see the policy concerning posting, and because for the note, you can't just say, see the posting and this.
Yes, you can. That's the name of the policy.
See the posting and distribution of community information in the library?
Yeah.
Just C instead of take the.
Okay, get rid of that.
Yeah.
Okay.
wait. What are we editing right now after we've already adopted
The
a
note,
policy?
the outdoor
Non-signed
signage
policy.
policy.
No, I know,
Yeah.
but are we actually making changes to it after we've
Well,
already
you're getting
adopted?
rid of the policy at the end of that.
Right,
We
said
knew,
that.
we knew that.
Right,
Could
So
just,
then I don't know that,
could just make it a lowercase p.
yeah,
yes,
lowercase
I like,
p.
I'm good with
It's
that.
not part of the title.
Right. I like
Thank you,
that
Jenna.
idea.
Yes.
Fabulous.
That's what graduate school would do.
Making that a lowercase p.
Lowercase.
Yeah. Okay. I'm not gonna reopen that for voting. So, moving on to the donation policy. We had some interesting developments on this one.
Yes, oh, that's right. I'm good. One of the questions from the December meeting was, what was the source of that first sentence that says, in the existing policy, all gifts must be reported to and accepted by the board of, well, the select board.
Right.
So I asked,
Yeah,
I got an answer, and incorporated part of that answer into this policy, which you can, it's the last sentence of the introductory paragraph. It says, any monetary or material donation or donation of a service that would require the expenditure of public funds, either at the time of the donation or in the future, must be accepted by the Board of Library Trustees and the Select Board of the Town of Needham. So that information came from Dave Davison, the Deputy Town Manager in charge of finance. That is the reason that if you were to accept $100, if $100 comes to us, it becomes town funds and it will be expended. So it needs to be formally accepted by you and the select board in order to be expended.
Because otherwise the town would have to put out $100 to buy that book, for example. So if we accept the $100 gift,
We're gonna,
we accept the $100,000 gift to digitize all of the,
I think it's like a magic wand that it turns that $100 into like town money that we now can spend.
right, that's my point, like,
Yeah.
what I guess we're saying is similar, so that $100,000 that we accepted to digitize all the newspapers.
Right.
If we wanted to do that without that donation, the town would have to spend that $100,000 instead. Which is why accepting the donation has to allow the town to accept that donation as well, because otherwise the town would say, well, we don't want to spend this $100,000. Does that make sense?
I think the simpler answer in my mind is if, once we accept the donation, it's town's money. And any spending of town's money is under the prerogative of the select board.
and it's in effect a donation to the town
Yeah.
That's what I was,
that they will apply.
Oh,
but I don't know, that's a good point. But
Yeah.
Dave crafted this reasoning, which was sent along. So we incorporated that reasoning into that sentence to make it clear as to why.
I mean, it raises some really uncomfortable question about how many of our gifts have been accepted by the select board formally.
One thing he did say, which I didn't put in here because it's a policy of what has to be done and not. He said that donations that don't require the use of public funds now or in the future, or ones that are de minimis, don't have to come to the trustees or the select board. You know, if we get a book donated, you know, putting stickers on it and whatnot is a very minor expenditure of public funds. So that does not
Putting
need to.
flowers. That's that.
Right,
Okay.
or if someone wanted to do a free story time here, that's not, the electricity is already on, we don't. It's just so minor that things like that don't need to come to the trustees or.
Because they don't require the expenditure of public funds.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
That seems to be the key. If somebody donates us something and doesn't require any staff time or any financial people to disperse, make payments or shuffle money, we can take it without
Yeah.
going to the select.
Yes, but I can't accept a piece of art that may require insurance or change to, security or painting of a wall or something. You would need to, and the select board would need to because of that.
But would you be able to accept a piece of art that has no real value?
No, not if there's going to be some expenditure of town funds connected to it, if we have to. If based on where we're going to put it, we need to redesign a space or
Well,
what have you.
I'm just only bringing it up because this happens kind of pretty often, that, somebody has, oh, I have this really cute picture of, something cute. How about I give it to the children's department, they take it and put it on a shelf. You know what I mean? That happens.
Oh, yeah, right, that happens. And that wouldn't need to come to the trustees or the select.
That's what I'm trying. Take these minor donations without the process.
Gal, you had a point?
Just so you know, Michael has had his vote die.
Oh,
Oh.
God. Well, we got through 2 votes, Michael. Thank you for your work tonight.
As long as we still have a quorum.
We're fine, but we miss you,
So
and hope to see you in February.
can I ask a question about our gift policy in general then? So every month we've been accepting all of these gifts.
Yes, they go to select.
No, I understand that. But do we need to be? Like a lot of these like $18 gifts and $35 gifts or whatever, that just all get shuffled into the permanent donation fund because that's where they go. Are those ones that in the future we would worry would be causing expenditure of town funds? I mean, this $100,000 is a very different question, obviously.
All monetary has to come
All
to
of
you
it.
and to the select board to turn it into town money I can
Okay.
spend. What I don't think you need to see in the future is if an author donates their book to us, we've included those things on the list
Right.
of gifts, and
Right.
that is one of these de minimis
Mm-hmm.
things that we wouldn't need to
Required to know.
add to the list in the future.
Okay.
Gotcha.
Uh,
Thank you for clarifying.
Of course, that can always be at your discretion.
Oh, yeah, I mean, there might be something we just want to highlight.
That's right, we
and,
wanna highlight.
Something special.
Mhm.
What have you.
I have a question about one part of it. I guess under individual monetary donations, library's permanent donation fund for use of the discretion of the library. Individual monetary donations of less than 500 will be treated as unrestricted. I guess my question is, if somebody wants to, let's say we have someone in town who has a hobby, they're interested in aviation, and they want to help the library have a nice collection of aviation materials, aviation related things. Would they need to give $500 or more to say this is going to be for aviation related stuff?
Too restricted.
Yes,
them-
restricted to aviation.
For them to proactively restrict their donation.
Okay, so that's just what I wanted to clarify, because that's something that people do, they have.
Yeah.
So
Yeah,
we
we'll
need to be
certainly-
500, if they want to have it restricted to aviation in this case, it would need to be 500 or more.
I have 2 very small comments on the language and then 1 question. On the second line, and organizations that recognize that. See that phrase?
Where is
Yep.
it?
Yeah, at the very beginning. intro.
Yeah. So this is for me style, but I spent the course of my life removing the word that and I think
Yeah.
that especially when you have just that that recognize an investment in the library, that's a style thing, but as I've gotten older, I've
Organizations that, I mean, did you say which?
that recognize an investment in the library.
Second.
I would,
Second
I
that.
would personally get rid of the second that.
Oh, yes, okay.
Yeah, sure.
And you
Yes, I
find
would
that
too.
that's our get rid of them very easily.
Yep.
My next thing is further down where it says donations must be in alignment with the curation practices outlined. You probably want to say in the library's collection development policy as compared to an hour. Be consistent with the style of the other stuff.
Thank you.
And then my next thing is a question down in 1B with the trust funds. Where you talk about, you know, this, we expect the stated purpose of the fund, which shall be, you know, should the purpose of the fund be something that's approved by the library director? In other words, it's not up to the donor what the purpose will be. In order for it to be accepted, I would think that the purpose should be something that you want it to be. I don't know who's approving that, whether it be the trustees or the library director, but it seems like you don't want someone giving you a large thing where the purpose is
Restricted.
not, is overly restrictive, so that it's not the sort of thing you want to be managing. So I wasn't sure if there should be some, you know, something there as far as, you know, how that purpose is determined, that it's subject to the director's approval of, or whoever's the appropriate party for that. That's my question.
Well, there's some language in the prior sub point I, which is like anything above 500, the recommendation of the library director and board of trustees may approve restrictions on donations. That would apply to anything above 500, including 10,000.
Yes.
10,000, the only addition is you can have a named trust. So if they want to designate that trust to be for specific things, that would still be subject to library director and library trustee approval.
I see you said the discretion. What language are you referring to? That
In the last sentence on the previous item, 1AI,
Yeah.
the last sentence there specifically says anything above 500 bucks, you know, it can be restricted, but we get to say whether or not that's appropriate.
May approve restrictions, but doesn't have to.
Based on the
Yeah.
recommendation of the library director.
Yeah.
I mean, we could repeat that same
Yeah.
language in BI.
And what if we don't approve?
It's a good question.
Then we don't take their money. We're gonna get a trust, right?
Okay.
The trust funds could be as a result of the execution of a will, where something's been done.
Mhm.
And we don't
I
have.
see. You don't have that sort of advanced
say.
control. Got it. Okay.
Well,
Mm,
I mean, we could refuse the
money.
bequest or
yeah,
the
we
new
can refuse
trust
the
fund,
request.
but
But
It's
I mean, the
not
whole
like
point
we
of
could
just thinking
be
about
in
it is just to address
conversation.
your concern of making sure that the gift is not so limited that it's
Right, like
not
you-
something you wish you
You
didn't
don't
have.
want, someone giving $10,000 to a trust fund that's only useful for purchasing Nazi memorabilia. Like that would not be the policy, like.
or even apple trees.
Right.
Not to be controversial.
But I mean, but
yeah.
a library would collect,
Right.
that would be, there are some libraries that collect Nazi memorabilia for research purposes. Our library does not. I don't think there are any libraries.
Well, then we would just
other
turn
libraries
down
collect
the,
apple
we
trees.
turn down the,
Right.
Okay.
money. We
Okay.
would take money.
Yeah, we still get to vote on it
Right.
as to whether we accept it.
Okay.
So, you know, whether or not we even have a say in some of the stuff, we can still always reject it.
Fair enough.
Um, The policy language here, I feel, is to provide guidance to the folks who are trying to make a donation, to help them understand what,
Yep.
how they should be thinking about it. Because there's a lot of latitude in that,
Actually,
how we accept it.
Go down. There's a right of refusal all the way at the bottom
Yep.
that says
Yeah.
we can refuse any donation, including requests.
Okay.
So.
Good. That's good.
Another addition from the summer's meeting was in number 3,
3A, subject to applicable town of Needham policies.
Yep.
Was the suggested addition, so that's been included.
Great. Yeah, I love that.
Yes, that's right. That was a discussion.
So this is also style, and ignore me, please, 'cause, but like, when I do this sort of stuff, if there's not gonna be a 2, I don't know that you need a 1. It's individual monetary donations, and then you have it, in that, all of these have letter things underneath with only the 1, and I don't know whether that's necessary.
Yeah,
You don't need the I.
You don't, you just have works of fine art, and, like,
It's particularly redundant. Yeah, it's fine.
so that's just a style thing,
yeah.
And
I think
to
this-
be I, you have to take that into the same way, just get rid of B. So
Like-
it's just fine art.
Like 1AI, 1BI, you just get rid of all the Is.
yeah.
I assume this is just what happens if you use the defaults in Word.
That's fine, and I'm saying, I'm just thinking,
Most likely.
Oh, yeah, we
Get
can
rid of
delete
the
the
I
eyes.
don't feel strongly about it, but
We can
Oh,
delete
yeah, it's
the
like, why is it
3A
there?
and just make it part
And
of
then
3.
donation sources, you need the A, because
no,
there's no B.
No,
the same thing with that,
This is
donation
the
of
only
services.
I.
You don't
Yeah.
need the A.
It looks like Michael's Novak.
You could just do a block indent for those if you
Yeah,
wanted to
yeah.
format it that way.
But
Thank you. I'll
Hello,
get rid of
Michael.
Hello,
Welcome back.
I'm trying.
Glad you could join us. You haven't missed a vote.
Yeah, missed a vote.
We're right now in the middle of discussing the donation policy revisions since December.
Is that the gifts policy one?
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay,
And so we just reviewed all of the rationale for new language and have also made a few minor changes to kind of formatting. And I think we expunged of that.
well. If you see the top of the ceiling, it's because the phone is on a charge. You're trying to charge.
We appreciate that.
Okay.
I'm trying.
The existing gifts policy has a gift donor form at the
Yes.
end, which has been revised here. I'm not sure if the deed of gift form should be treated as internal procedures or if it's part of what is being approved. If that needs to be.
I think it would be good to be part of the policy because that's sort of public facing and the public. No?
I would
I'm just
make it
raising.
internal, just because then it'd be easier to change without having to approve anything. So I would have it as an internal procedure. And then people who are interested will see the form. Someone who says, hey, I'm interested in it, and then we can just send
Give them.
the form that.
Hey, I want to donate this money, here, fill out this form.
Yeah.
Yeah, because we could always receive guidance from the town at any time being like, you actually need to collect this other,
Yeah.
item on your form before we can
Right.
accept it. And we wouldn't want to have to update the policy every time we
Yeah.
receive something like that.
And this form is just for non-monetary.
Okay.
Even more so reason to keep it internal. So it's not.
Do we need any language then around where they can access a form? Is that clear?
I would not put this in my thinking. It's in my computer and I'll have a conversation.
Right.
Here it is.
So
Not
the
that this
assumption
would
should be
on
that
the
they start a
website.
conversation with the library rather than just start filling out forms and submitting stuff.
Right, yes.
Yeah, or putting a piece of art in the book drop.
And has that happened?
Kittens.
Interested in people interested in donation, contact the director, or maybe that can be on the website or something like that. As we start the process.
Well, that's an interesting point is, should there be a page on the website?
Interested in
That's
donating,
part
click
of the
here.
contact.
Make it right,
I
the
think
big
form or
button right on the
Yeah,
front page.
donate.
Right. People read
donate
this
to
and
the
then they would go
Yeah.
like, okay, so what do I do?
Yeah.
Yeah.
How to give you your money. Yeah, we definitely have a
You have-
page of
Okay.
We
that.
should
Yeah,
maybe
I don't
have
think it needs
something
to be
in
in
the
the
policy
policy. I don't-
saying, to
I don't think so. I think that's an internal procedure.
saying that we can
Okay.
outside the policy.
Great. Okay, so we're saying the deed of gift form is not part of the policy. We've made a few small changes to the overall text. We're renaming this the donation policy from the gifts policy. So note that in.
We're naming it the donation policy or the gifts policy? We're naming it the donation policy.
We're renaming it to the donation.
Right, okay. Right.
Yeah. Sorry if
No,
that
it's
wasn't clear.
unrelated to donations of books. Like-
No.
No.
No, like, I mean, like when people put in the books in the bin,
Oh, that's for the friends.
that's the.
Friends, that's not actually a
Okay,
library.
fine.
Separate.
Yeah.
Okay,
Okay, I'm gonna propose a motion here to adopt the newly titled donation policy and revised policy language as we reviewed during this meeting. Can I get a second? Great. Any further discussion? Starting a roll call vote. Kay Cahill,
Aye.
Jay Fialka,
I,
Michael O'Neill,
Aye.
Megan Small,
I,
Joshua Small.
Aye.
The chair is aye. All right, we have adopted the donation policy. And that leaves us with the study room policy, yes?
Yes.
Great.
So the study room policy, Kay and I also discussed the revisions from the December meeting when we met at the end of December. Have incorporated those suggestions into what you have before you tonight. I don't remember them. So you can-
What, remember exactly what we
What we,
changed as a result of, I didn't bring my list.
I don't think there
Tonight.
was much. Maybe it was just.
I had some notes that we worked from at our meeting, but
Oh, one change is, one of our supervisors noted that the internal procedures referenced a privacy shield to cover the glass portion of the door is available at the reference desk upon request if our lactation pod is busy.
Right.
So we just changed number 6 in the
Yeah.
policy to reflect that fact by adding
last,
except for privacy shield provided by the library for lactation purposes,
great.
so that it would be in alignment with the procedures.
and the one other thing that we discussed at last meeting was the sign up, how it was going to be worded, sign up policy. Remember there's some
Oh,
questions
yes.
about signing up online. So we clarified that wording. Where is that?
Yeah,
Number
so
one.
it was confusing with the as early as 1 day in advance. I
Oh,
think
yeah.
the
Remember
words
this.
were out of order.
As
so
early
it's-
as, yes, we
it
clarified
was-
that.
Yeah, when I reviewed this, it seems, it read well to me.
I'm a little confused about
Yeah.
the word reservations throughout the whole thing. Because room one, study room reservations, which is you're reserving use of the room. And then we're also using the word reservations to include the use of the room. Like, because number 2, or number 3, for example, reads reservations are limited to 2 hours per day, 3 days a week. But that implies that you're only allowed to reserve, to do a reservation for during the 2-hour period, not to use the room for 2 hours. I think it should be, room usage should be up to 2 hours. And same thing with number 4, reservations end 15 minutes before the library closes. Implies room
instead
use,
of-
and right.
I think that's good. There is a
Um,
little, there is a difference.
There's a difference between reserving it and using it. And you should use different words for those 2 things.
Okay, yeah, so on number 3, I can imagine changing that to maybe reserved use is limited,
Or just,
usage.
Use is
or just
limited.
use,
or
yeah.
usage, reserved
Room use is
usage.
limited.
Room use is limited.
Room use,
Yeah.
but is it actually room use or is it reservation? Right, because if they
It's
could,
both.
if it's open, can they use it without reservation or does it always have to be reserved?
Always has to be
Always.
reserved.
Always has to be reserved.
So
Has
it's,
to be reserved.
so somebody comes in
But
and there's no, and rooms are available
We'll take a reservation immediately for them.
online, they have to go online.
We can do it at the reference desk. We simply do it as they would do it from home. but they still have to have a library card in order to be able to do it. Can't do it
Do we
without.
need something that says that? Because it
does.
says study room,
It does
as
say it,
number
yes.
one says must be made through the online system.
And it is still
So-
being done by.
They do.
Well, I understand that, but like, that implies that people don't know that they can come to you and do it through the online system.
Most of them know it, and they still call.
Yeah.
There's still people without computers or internet access at home. So yes, we will do it over the telephone, but that is not something I think you put in your policy.
And I suppose if someone's in the library and they see the room's open, they would go to someone at the desk to see if
They
they can
do.
use the room.
And they do.
To get back to, I think, the question at number 3.
Yeah.
The limit of 2 hours per day is for the use.
So it could say, study room use is limited.
Reservations and room use.
No, because reservations, when you reserve it, is it auto reserve in 2-hour blocks?
No,
You
You
reserve
determine.
up to 2 hours.
And if you don't use it, your reservation still counts towards your limit. You can't reserve it, restricting other people from using it and say, but I didn't use it, so I want. to
Right,
use
right, I
more."
see what you're saying, okay.
so I
So it
think
should be
you're,
reservations and room use then.
no,
No,
just room use.
So let me,
Well, it's
Can I-
not, because there's a limit on how long a reservation could be too.
can I ask about an edge case as well, which is somebody's used their 2 hours per day, 3 days per week, the rooms are open, they show up at the reference desk and they're like,
They
I'd
don't
like,
get in
they
because
can't
the
use it.
system won't let us do it.
Okay.
Wow, okay.
Yeah.
It's
How
a
about
little-
What
For
we
three
maybe
intense.
at that point would ask if there's anyone else accompanying them, and do they have a library card? And have they used up their 3 per week?
should 3 read,
So-
then rooms may be reserved
hold
for.
on, I would even, before we do that, maybe just number 1, study room reservations must be made, blah, blah, blah. Reservations can be made for a maximum of 2 hours. Should be, because the number 1 is what is talking about how to make a reservation.
Mhm.
So if we're talking about how to make a reservation, you should say what the reservation that you're making is.
Rooms may be reserved.
For up to 2 hours. 'Cause, right, that's the actual way it works, right?
Yes, it's done in 15-minute increments. And we'll leave it at that. Let's just say that there's some budget that sometimes happens and we are doing it ourselves for
Right.
them. And there are certain rules that go into effect because of the system, but that will not affect people.
Right, and that way you can then not even worry about reservations in number 3 and number 4. Because number 1 is taking care of the reservation part of the policy. As opposed to the use part of the policy.
Mhm.
Does that make sense?
I didn't check all this, but hopefully
I
someone
said,
did.
I did.
Yes, so here, okay, number 1, study room reservation, blah, 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 blah. A phone number is required to make a reservation, period. Reservations may be made up to, reservations can be made for a total or up to 2 hours, period.
Rooms may be reserved for up to
Rooms-
a maximum.
Fine, rooms may be, thank you.
That-
Number 2,
Yeah,
reservations may be canceled if the person's 15 minutes late. Number 3, instead of the word reservations, room use is limited to 2 hours per day, 3 days per week.
okay,
Number 4, room use ends 15 minutes before the library closes.
okay. Yeah, I think that's
Yep.
fine.
I think that works.
Do you have all that? Okay.
I do have it, yes. Good night.
And you can change that wording, like, to make it prettier.
Oh, I think that
Doesn't work.
it works.
No pretty.
No pretty?
Ugly is good.
Ugly words, okay.
Just throw a few more bats in there. So, are there any more?
about it.
Any more discussion of the study room policy or things you wanna?
We're happy with the 4-person, the way 4 persons number 5, because that was one of the reasons for updating the policy, right? To
Right.
make it clear
You
that
wanna
the
emphasize
town
that?
does not
Yeah.
allow
And
anyone.
we did
for-
add per study room as last meeting, that was a suggestion at the end of number 5.
Per study room, yes, we
It
added that.
didn't have that, so no.
Okay. Great. I'm going to move that we adopt the study room policy as we've written and discussed here during our meeting today. Do I hear a second?
Second. Megan.
Any additional discussion? All right, moving to a roll call vote. Kay Cahill,
Aye.
Jay Fialka,
Aye.
Michael O'Neill. Oh, we lost him again. Oh dear. Megan Small,
Aye.
Josh Small,
Aye.
and the chair is aye. So we adopt this policy. Excellent. Thank you again.
We did them all.
Yeah, Kay and Rob for all of your.
Thank you.
Wow, enormous amount of wrangling.
Appreciate it.
I just want to thank the staff for all the time they put into this. It's exciting, and we're moving on. We've got
More to come.
plans for February.
Exciting
Fabulous.
policy plans.
Yes, I don't have your chart, but.
So,
some-
I've memorized it.
What's that?
That's the one that the keeps getting.
Next up are the creation of 2 policies.
Okay.
We may not have a good draft of both to bring to you in February, but hopefully, maybe at least one. Well, maybe a revision will be ready for you. But a team room policy needs to be created, and a photography and filming in the library policy needs to be created. So those are ones that I'll be reaching out to and working with staff to create. And the children in the library policy is up for revision. So of those 3, I would bet on children in the library being revised and brought
Coming up
and be
next.
ready for February.
Okay,
The other 2 are going right. And I've already been in contact with town manager's office about filming and photography in the library because they went through something similar a couple years ago, and so I have information from them that they also need to just run what we have.
is there
Yeah.
interest from any of the trustees here to?
I was gonna do the
Okay.
photography one.
Yeah.
Oh, great.
Yeah, so Josh is there, and then Megan for
We
children. in
we had
library.
talked last time about you talking to, talking to the town manager about, does the town already have a policy?
Yeah.
So you'll send that to me?
Yep.
Oh, fabulous.
That-
Excellent. Glad we're on top of it.
So the fun never ends.
Yeah, we're, well, thank you again, everyone, and thank you for the staff's work on this. We're running a little late on our schedule, unfortunately, but we have the public's work to do. So moving on to library art and exhibition.
Okay, so I will pass these around. This is what we're voting on tonight.
Great.
Circulate them. So, committee met, arts committee met. 7th last week, and luckily we had an empty February. So Gay Ellen and Vicky Garby of the Needham Arts Association quickly scrambled and got hold of Alfred D'Angelo, who does paintings, which I believe are acrylic paintings, which are very unusual, figurative, but abstract.
There are oils and graphite
Oils.
as well as other mediums.
Okay,
Oh, these are awesome.
so
Yes.
yes, so here's his, they're unusual, they're something we haven't really seen before, which is a nice thing. He's a Needham artist and does very interesting and unusual work. So we were very pleased that he was willing to and has enough inventory to actually do a display on our big wall. So not everybody does. So that's one person. And then for the cases, we have Berlin Chow, origami. Oh, there, and I noticed that you had that down there. Yeah, so those are for the, the small pieces for the small cases, and she does, what, yeah, you said she works in some kind of
It's
material?
fabric origami.
It's fabric.
Oh.
Yes,
Those
different
are
fabrics, they are
very
boxes.
precious, beautifully crafted items, artistic items.
Yeah.
Variety of different shapes, sizes.
Objet d'art.
things. She's got an interesting website.
And you can touch it. You get to touch it when they're in cases. You can't pick them up.
Yes.
See what they feel. Fabric origami feels like.
Reasonably priced too.
The
And
perfect box.
so that's good. And then we have our standard April Needham Open Studios, which takes up both walls and cases. And we have May, as always, the Needham Needham High School Scholastic Art Award winners. So I would propose that we could vote on those 4 months. Yeah. So it'd be Alfred D'Angelo, February through March, Berlin Chow, in the cases through March. Then April, Needham Open Studios, May, Needham Scholastic Art Awards, Needham High School Scholastic Art Awards. So those are the.
Right, so 3 items across 4 months, or 3 line items across 4 months in terms of displays,
Yes.
because January is already approved.
Right.
All right, excellent. So, you are proposing a motion.
I might make a motion to approve the artists just listed for February through May.
Yeah. Here a second?
Second.
Any discussion? Further discussion? All right, roll call vote to approve. Kay Cahill,
Aye.
Jay Fialka,
Aye.
Michael O'Neill is probably still off. Megan Small,
Aye.
Joshua Small,
Aye.
the chair is aye. Wonderful.
And thank you. Great work.
Yeah,
Oh, good. Yeah, we're,
excited about
thanks
these
to
displays.
Thanks, Jay.
Gay is really, steps up on this. When we have an empty spot, she gets busy.
It's brilliant. It's brilliant. Any other reports from the Library Arts Exhibits Committee?
That's all for now.
All right. Because we don't have Rob tonight, we won't have a MacIver series update. Friends of the Library, Jay.
Just a few things. I don't know if you were here. I was here on Sunday with the art critic Sebastian Smee, Pulitzer Prize winner. Really gave a very, very interesting talk about impressionism, the birth of impressionism.
And a big turnout.
Big turnout. I think 100+ people. The room was pretty filled. So really very nice event.
It was recorded.
It was reported. Yeah.
I was at the Friends Board meeting last night. They gave a heads up that there's a book sale coming, January 31st, so February, the weekend starting January 31st. And I'll mention that in early February 9th, Dr. Ted Lansmore is going to be giving a talk about racism in Boston, how far we've come. And should be a very, very interesting event. Some of the friends last night talked about a desire to get to know the trustees, and to see if we could get folks from the trustees and the friends in the foundation to maybe get together in one way or another. And maybe that's a conversation that we can follow up on. Seemed like a good idea. And the only other thing I guess I'll say is that on my way out the meeting last night, Lois Bacon gave me some information for anyone who wants to renew or join the Friends. I have a few envelopes here. I think you're already, you don't even need to renew, your membership is good.
Oh, good.
I need to renew and if anybody wants to join, but I have a few of those things to pass out. So I think, is there anything else?
Money.
Oh, why don't you talk about this?
So last night, the Friends Board unanimously approved our request for $60,000 for the calendar year 2025 to support programming and collections
Oh,
and
wow.
buying some new book carts, staff appreciation, water, USB drives we give out to patrons who need them. And,
Very generous.
yeah, it was very nice.
Right.
They said, you know, if things come up and you need more, come on back.
And it's just the programming is sort of general program, not specifically determined, but
For children, it's the year-round monthly programming as well as summer reading programming and prizes and summer reading
Ah.
supplies. For teens, it's summer reading programming and prizes, and for adults, summer reading prizes and supplies.
Thank you to the,
yes.
Yeah, thank you to the friends.
Friends.
Very much appreciated.
So
The Library Foundation, which is next on the list. I have a meeting tomorrow night, and
Oh,
I don't have much really to report, except I do know that they're, among other things, they're looking to do some outreach to maybe get some new members who are looking to perhaps play an active role with the foundation to support. There's a lot of money that they control that could be, for the benefit of the library, and I think they're looking for people in the community who might be interested in getting engaged in that. So that, I think there's a little bit of outreach starting to broaden their membership.
Okay.
They do have a event that they are actually running themselves in April that I believe they are going to be using as a possible fundraiser or get the word out about them.
Yeah.
They're having Judith Calora come in with the program Rendezvous with Rachel Revere. I will also tell you that we have had a very successful grant from the foundation. It is now upstairs on the wall. The Americans Who Tell the Truth.
oh, yeah.
The program that they sponsored for us was fantastic. It was the first standing ovation I've ever seen in this room in 8 years.
That was
Is what we had, spontaneous one. So very good support we've had, and the community seems to be really interested in our work.
Yes, and I had forgotten to mention that during the my report, but it was a very well attended event, and the exhibit is really worth looking at because it's not only portraits but also quotes of these activists, and it's really very thoughtful and thought-provoking. So
Yeah, had excellent media coverage as well. I thought that.
and very striking to see on a wall.
All right, thanks, Jay. Trustee comments, any final thoughts? There's Jillian here.
Mostly we're gonna know by 10 o'clock tonight.
About that
which way
vote?
the
Oh, really?
lands.
We'll see.
Well, not, fortunately, that's not what we have to worry about in this meeting. No, we can worry about that after the
the
meeting.
library is in the new zoning.
It is, that's true, the library is part of that,
Well,
those zones.
if it passes tonight.
I just want to, I just want to return to something Jay said at the very beginning when we were meeting our amazing new staff members. I think there is a lot to be excited about where the library is at right now. And I think this meeting and all the work we did today and discussed was testament to, I think we're really doing some wonderful things, and the library is doing wonderful things, and I'm really excited.
Thank you.
Yes.
And thanks to all the library staff. We very much appreciate everything you're doing.
thank you.
Can I get a motion to adjourn? So moved, second?
Second.
Doing a roll call vote to adjourn, Kay Cahill,
Aye.
Jay Fialkoff,
Aye.
Michael O'Neill. Back. I can't tell because the library exhibit's still up there. Megan Small,
Aye.
Joshua Small,
Aye.
the chair is aye. We are adjourned.